Level 1. Below the Waterline. 4:47 a.m. Pier 22, Port of Miami. You're standing at the gangway of Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas with one suitcase. The contract is simple. 8 months aboard a 228,081-ton ship. No going ashore, no days off. 12 to 14 hours a day. Your position? Main dining room server, section MDR 5C, deck 5. Base salary? $550 a month. The rest comes from gratuities, carved out of the mandatory $18 per guest daily service charge. Week 1 of training has nothing to do with carrying plates. You learn how to hold eye contact in a corridor, how to say your name before a guest can ask, how to keep smiling when someone tears into you, lips up 15 degrees, eyes alive, but not too alive. The training manual calls it the Royal Service Standard. It is, in fact, a point system. Every time a passenger fills out a satisfaction survey, a number appears next to your name. Your cabin is below the waterline. Crew quarters, 6 square meters, 2 to a room. No windows. Your contract is signed by headquarters in Miami, but the legal jurisdiction is the Bahamas. That means U.S. labor law doesn't apply to you. You haven't fully processed that yet. Level 2. The ledger behind the smile. 3 months in, you pass the Service Excellence internal certification and get reassigned to Coastal Kitchen, a private restaurant accessible only to Crown and Anchor Diamond Plus members and above, entry requiring 5,000 points per night in qualifying spend. The logic of the job shifts here, structurally. You're granted partial access to Seaware, the ship's guest information system, purchase history, service notes, complaint records. The moment a Platinum member's keycard clears boarding, the second the alert hits your work phone, the clock starts. His usual window table is already held. The 2019 Napa Valley Cabernet he mentioned once has been breathing for 22 minutes. The core skill at this level isn't service, it's information management. Your monthly take-home is now $1,800 to $2,200. In Manila or Jakarta, that's a respectable living. In Miami, it doesn't matter. You live on the ship, you eat on the ship, you never leave the ship. The cost shows up differently. You've lost sync with the calendar on land. You're no longer sure what day of the week it is. Level 3. The Enforcer. Your title now? Assistant Maitre d'. You oversee 14 dinner shift servers in the main dining room. Base salary, $3,400 a month, with performance bonuses capped at $4,800. The cruise line runs a covert audit system called LQA, Leading Quality Assurance. Every voyage, undisclosed inspectors blend in among the guests, running a 47-page scorecard across your section. The results affect your quarterly bonus and contract renewal. You will never know which table they're sitting at tonight, so you start watching your own team. You build an informal internal surveillance system. Who's cutting corners? Who went cold on a guest? Who had too much to drink in the crew bar last night and is dragging today? You report upward, but never in writing. You tell the F&B director verbally because you understand something no one taught you. Paper leaves a trail. Words can be walked back. Nobody showed you this. You figured it out watching the guy who had your job before you. Your social world reorganizes itself. You and the other supervisors meet at 1 a.m. in the crew bar, speaking in shorthand. Who's getting reassigned next voyage? Who HR has quietly flagged? You don't eat with the regular servers anymore. Not a decision you made, just something you noticed one day when you looked up and it was already true. Level 4. The Silent Arbitrator. New title: F&B Operations Manager. You coordinate 11 restaurants and 7 bars across the entire ship, reporting directly to the food and beverage director. More importantly, your contract has converted to a land-based agreement signed by Royal Caribbean's Miami headquarters, governed by Florida law. That change means more than any title. You now have access to actual numbers, daily operating costs per restaurant, real profit margins, roughly 22% in the main dining room, up to 61% in the specialty venues. Which ingredients get sourced in which port cities at 15% below market? Which supplier contracts carry undisclosed rebate clauses? None of these figures appear in anything a guest ever sees. Your decisions carry personnel consequences. You have the authority to recommend contract terminations. The official reason? Operational restructuring. You've used that phrase 4 times. One of those times, a server had filed a written complaint with HR regarding shift violations. Before that complaint reached corporate, it crossed your desk. You read it. You know what you did. You kept working. Level 5, The Invisible Hand. Title: Hotel Director. The highest non-nautical position on the ship, second only to the captain. Of the 1,400 crew members on board, 820 fall under your direct or indirect command. Annual salary: $180,000 to $240,000, plus performance bonuses, plus ground transportation and accommodations in every port city, all covered. You no longer appear at general staff meetings. Your directives pass through 3 department heads before reaching the crew, where they arrive translated as company policy or standard procedure. No one traces them back to an offhand comment you made over coffee on the captain's deck. The ship maintains a formal grievance system. Crew members can file written objections to management decisions. The system exists. Its final review node is your office. You haven't shut it down, because shutting it down would flag a legal liability risk at corporate. You leave it open, but you know where the exit leads. When you come ashore at a private island VIP dock in the Caribbean, local government officials are pre-notified of your arrival. Not because you hold any official title, because Royal Caribbean delivers roughly 1.2 million spending passengers to that island every year, and you hold the renewal rights to that arrangement. The last time you had a conversation with a regular crew member that wasn't about work was 7 months ago. Level 6. You are the protocol. Your name doesn't appear in any cruise line marketing material. You sit on Royal Caribbean's Global Operations Committee as a non-executive director. You advise 2 private port development firms, one holding exclusive berth rights in the Bahamas, one in Cozumel, Mexico. The scope of your decisions? 26 ships, 38,000 crew members, the consumption patterns of roughly 7 million passengers a year. You don't board ships anymore. When a new vessel's operational plan needs reviewing, the captain and hotel director come to you. Conference room, 17th floor, Miami headquarters. The meeting ends. They leave. You stay and finish your second Perrier. Your calendar holds 5 to 6 meetings a day, none of which require you to take notes, because notes are logged after your review into a system accessible only to you and legal. At this level, one thing is simply true. There is no one you can talk to. Not because there's no one around, because everyone who gets close to you is simultaneously an asset and a liability. There is no safe ground between those two things. Your South Beach apartment is appraised at $3.4 million. You have a will. The only witness is your attorney. One afternoon, you stand at the conference room window, watching the water of Biscayne Bay. Harmony of the Seas is moving slowly out of port. You know every data point about that ship, and you cannot name a single one of the 820 people on it. You don't need their names anymore. You are the rules.